Good morning and welcome to the Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Trust thyself is a message that is always there, and yet we often find that the people don't trust themselves. Nevertheless, if you go to any bookstore, to any library, you would see the number of titles that are in one way or the other connected with the trust, money, health, etc. are always having two words as a connective undercurrent: self doubt and fear. Both self doubt and fear are negation of the word trust. And trust is a binary that holds the people together, the binary which makes you what you are, a trait that can either destroy you or, if properly developed, make you. Trust is an ingredient we seek everywhere, whether it's business, whether it's politics. We look to our parents in the childhood because we trust them. A little toddler walking with a mom or dad, his hand in their hand, has absolute trust. He knows that he is safe. But imagine that your child one morning, maybe you are living in Arctic, tell you, "Hey dad, come, let's jump in the ocean and swim in the icy cold water," and you are afraid of swimming. Does it mean that you would do it or not? He trusts you to do it. But do you trust yourself because you hate swimming in the icy cold water? And then you are beset with a question: I trust myself or I don't trust myself? Both have a powerful concept. Your relationship with uncertainty and control. You don't know what's going to happen. Now, if you trust yourself, you would tell, well, look here, I wouldn't mind it, but the possibility of the freezing cold ocean may not be conducive to my health. This suggestion can tell. But then, if you hum and ha the way some political leaders do, you cannot be an example of having trust in thyself. Trusting thyself means overcoming doubts, overcoming uncertainties. I myself love taking risks with my ideas, testing, experimenting, failing, learning. But I may not be great at taking the physical risk. Why? I don't like the feeling of my body being out of control. And if you had like to uncover where you trust yourself and also where you don't, try this simple exercise. Jot down the situations in your life where you can cope with what might, even with major uncertainty, you might have enjoyed. Do you find there's some commonality in all these events? And you would find that uncertainty and self doubt were the times when you betrayed yourself. Then think of the situations and relationships where you cannot stand uncertainty. Maybe you feel anxious. Maybe you feel confused and nonplussed. Maybe you are frozen with indecision. And then this indecision, this anxiety, this puzzling behavior has something to do with the control of yourself. And you would have find often in your situations that more the uncertainty, the more is the need to have trust in yourself. You know, as a child has a trust in the father and the mother. When he grows up and goes to school, he has trust in his elder sibling that he or she will protect him. They have trust in the teachers. They look towards their CEOs and the managers to have trust in them. And when their trust is betrayed, they are disillusioned. Same is if your trust in yourself is not there. You are not a perfect human being. And I know you cannot be perfect. Nobody can be. But you cannot even be comfortable. If you lack trust in yourself, you are not going to have a comfortable life because the outcome is not in your control. So, what happens when a lack of trust holds you back? Simply, you are unable to achieve what you want. And let me tell you, we are at times uncertain and we are afraid. And we forget that being fearless is not bad. Being afraid of being fearless is bad. But being fearless is good. But also feeling afraid is not too bad. The courageous people are not always fearless. Far from it. What they do is they learn to make friends with the uncertainty. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. So come to terms with the uncertainty, accept it as a part of life, as a part of your being. Trust your intentions. If you fail even, but your intentions are okay and your efforts are sincere, that is not holding your trust in yourself. And you would find that when you make friends with uncertainty, when you accept uncertainty and move with it, you would not be paralyzed with indecision. You will not be facing Hamlet's query to be or not to be. And then, you would see. So, coming back to the earlier thing that your son asked you to jump into the icy ocean, you can explain, well, okay, I would jump it, but I need a wetsuit. So, first, I like to go into water and test whether the water is cold enough for me to be tolerated, or do I have the wetsuit to protect myself? You see, it's not the request that is improper. The child has made a request. It may not be improper. He has dared you because he trusts you. Now, here is a crucial dilemma. If you jump in, you keep his trust, but you fall sick. If you don't jump in, you're betraying the trust because he thinks that Papa can do every damn thing in the world. So the challenge is there. And if you have trust in yourself, you'll be very candid and say, let's be properly dressed in a wetsuit, and then we'll jump in. Let's test the temperature. Don't go into the fire without seeing how hot it is. So you would find that the lack of trust can be explained if you have sense of integrity and a sense of authenticity. So what do you do when you find that the lack of interest is holding you back? The first I would say is do what is a must. Reduce the unknown. This fear of the unknown is, as I always say, the black godmother of all damnable things. Second, increase your confidence to move through this uncertainty. Uncertainty is like the clouds, or rather the darkness. The moment you light a candle, then you can say, okay, the possibilities and the probabilities have to be analyzed, and then the light comes in and the darkness dispels. So you have to develop the sense of discrimination. The discrimination has to be very subtle and nuances. And you are waiting to be certain about something uncertain, you will never start. You cannot be certain of everything in life. Let's be very clear. You have got to live with uncertainty, but you have got to trust your integrity and your instincts. Trusting yourself more means making the fear that comes with the uncertainty work for you. You know, when you're uncertain, you fear of the unknown. But when you manipulate that fear, make that fear your friend, then that unknown is no longer unknown, it is a known, and the binary changes. So don't wait for the uncertain to become certain. You would never be certain of hundreds of things in life. Does it mean that you should stop being decisive? And the most beautiful thing about trusting yourself is your ability to take new risks. We always are afraid of taking risks. But if you are confident of yourself and you have trust in your capabilities, even if they are misplaced, you would find yourself successful. You will discover the most about yourself. When I shifted from academics to the corporate life, people said, you wouldn't be successful. And I was, because I took it as a challenge to prove myself. And then I was even quoted with the business word as a leading business manager of the year, the CEO, the best CEO. Myself and the chairman of the Sun River Limited, we were two featured CEOs. So a lack of trust is what stops you from exploring new directions and are opportunities within you. They limit you. So if you want to be successful, don't be afraid of failure, but be afraid of uncertainty. And since uncertainty is a part of life, don't be afraid of it. Accept it, welcome it. The only thing you need is trust in your capabilities and your ability to discriminate between the possible and the probable. And if anything is both possible and probable, go ahead. But primarily, do not forget that trust in you is something which keeps you alive and moving, which keeps you living and progressing, which keeps you on the move, even if you may be unsuccessful from the worldly point of view. But your authenticity, your essential being, would never be hurt. Life is never a binary. Let's be very clear. Reality never is. I can trust a friend to plan my birthday party, but I cannot trust anybody to handle my personal life. No, I trust that I am following the best path for me now with the knowledge and experience that I have. And that you have got to do. Whatever knowledge you have accumulated, whatever experience you have, use that to chalk a new path and take a decision. You cannot possibly believe that the path you are undertaking would be the best path. It's never possible. It might come out to be full of brambles and thorns. But if you have the capability, you know it. You can traverse this path without any problem. And you should know that you may not have the knowledge and experience at present, but then you acquire it as you go, as you adjust. That's why I say the sense of discrimination is an immediate judgment. The concept of the 1 minute manager comes here. Your essential capability to take a decision is there, and its counterbalanced, or rather, it is enhanced by the immediate action that you need to take. So, trusting your knowledge, trusting your experience, trusting your capabilities is enough. And you will learn nothing new if you are not able to face the uncertainty. Doubts have no place. You know it's uncertain, and that's where you go. Life will give nothing to you. Remember one thing, life will give nothing to you. People, when they say life gives it, life doesn't give it. Your life, your experience is what you make of it. And if you don't have trust in yourself, you cannot make of it. You could find a lottery ticket on the ground. But if you've decided that your life is cursed, you had spent it and let yourself be robbed and keep living a sad life. The only way, the only way to progress in life is to create your own meaning. Yes. And meaning starts with having trust and confidence in yourself. You have been doing it so far, but you have been trusting others. It's time to start trusting yourself. Instead of depending on others, your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your religious leaders, forget them. You are the best person to take a decision, and if you don't have trust in yourself, then you are not fit to be called a human being, because human being essentially has trust to go forward, and that's not possible until you have trust in yourself. Everything that happens is a reflection of what's happening in your mind. Everyone might be an illusion, but you might be a brain in a jar living in this matrix. So everything that is happening is interpreted in your mind. It's subjective. Success has no meaning. You create it. Your house has no meaning. It can be a shack, it can be a palace. But how you create is its importance. So trust in thyself. And believe me, by trusting thyself, you'll be better thyself. You'll be bettering thyself much more than all these coaches, all these gurus can ever teach you. Thank you.